As this is your instructor Ashish, I am recording this video to give you help with the chapter 4 programming assignment. If we go to the module section of our page, you can see I'm on Canvas, and when we go to modules page, scroll down, we have week 7 where I created a assignment video for chapter 3. For week 8 you have chapter 4 quiz, and in week 9 you will have the assignment for chapter 4 programming. I'm going to post a video here which will be a video I will prepare rather than this book provided videos. You will have a video me narrating you with the instructions for chapter 4 assignment. When we open the chapter 4 assignment, you will see that you need to answer 3 questions, 4.10, 4.14 and 4.17 from the chapter 4. Out of these 3, only one is the programming assignment, which is 4.17. The 4.10 and 14 are more of the text-based assignment that you can answer in a particular Word document as you see suitable. Let's take a look at 4.10. The ebook is open in front of me, and the question for 4.10 is right here. It says compare and contrast if single selection statement and the while repetition statement. How are these two statements similar? How are they different? Well, this is in regard to the control statement, which is the focus of this chapter number 4, the if single selection statement. Just to give you an idea, if we have if age is more than 18 semicolon, a closing semicolon, and we may type something inside to do something, right? We may say some code which will say do something. There could be one line, there could be many lines of code. This is basically an example of a single selection if statement. Naturally, I'm just typing it in PowerPoint so you can see it clearly, but you will be writing this code inside Eclipse so that it is more aligned properly automatically. If single selection is used when you want to process something only when a condition is true. The double selection is when you add the else clause, which is called double selection, because you can do one thing when the condition is true and another thing when the condition is false. This is an example of the if single selection. I just added a little bit detail for the double selection as well. On the contrary, while is starts with a small letter W. Since I'm typing in PowerPoint, it becomes a little capital. But while age is less than 18, we would like to do something. So we may type somewhat like this, where a code will keep on running until the condition is true. So in this case, the while loop will keep on running and running and running from this point, and all the code will keep on running until the code written here will execute. So a while is to repeat something. It's a repetition loop. If single selection is to do something once and move on. If the if logic does not pass through the if single selection statement enclosed within the if logic will not run. So this is a quick summary of how they are same and how they are different. You may please read through the textbook chapter 4 to answer them more properly. Moving on to the next question, which is 4.14. The 4.14 question is, what is the difference between pre-incrementing and post-incrementing a variable? Pre-incrementing and post-incrementing is a critical aspect that one should know when you are using any programming language. This concept of pre-incrementing and post-incrementing are present both in various programming languages, in Java, C++, C#, and others. The pre-incrementing is to increment using ++ sign in the beginning, and post-incrementing is to increment by putting the ++ sign in the end. A decrementing aspect could be given as decrement my miles ahead of time and decrement afterwards. The significance of putting plus plus or minus minus in the front is to first increment the value and then assign. Every time you will use this, you will probably have something like this. You will have a variable and you will assign the value to that variable using the pre-incrementing or post-incrementing. In this example, we have, if let's say the age is equal to 18, the age with a small a, this is a dummy example, the outcome of this line the line above will be 19. 19 will be the value of both age and new age variables. So this is an example of how the pre-incrementing will work. In here, the value of new age variable will be 18, but the value of age variable will be 19. Why is the case? Because when this line runs, the age will be assigned to new age immediately, and only after this line runs, the value of age variable will be incremented. So I hope this gave you a quick idea about the pre and post incrementing variables, which is what is the question 4.14 is. When we scroll down, we have 4.17. So let's take a look at that, which is the third part of your assignment. For exercise 4.17 through 4.20, perform each of the following steps. Read the statement naturally. Formulate the algorithm using pseudocode top-down stepwise refinement. Write a Java program. Test and debug the program, and process 3 complete sets of output. So at least do 3 sets, which will make you feel confident your program is running correctly. The 4.17 exercise is right here. It's about gas mileage. Drivers are concerned with the mileage their automobiles get. One driver has kept track of several trips by recording the miles driven and gallons used for each tank full. Develop a Java application that will input the miles driven and the gallons used, both as integers for each trip. The program should calculate and display the miles per gallon MPG obtained for each trip and print the combined miles per gallon obtained for all the trip up to this point. Critical portion. All averaging calculation should produce floating point results. Use class scanner and sentinel controlled repetition to obtain data from the user. The sentinel control repetition is part of this chapter, and as we write the code, you will see how to do that. To write the code, I'm going to invoke my Eclipse environment, and while it is taking a bit of time, while it is coming up, let's one more time study. We need to get the miles from the user, we need to get the gallons used as integers, and we need to just calculate miles per gallon, which is miles divided by gallon. And we also need to keep track of the total miles driven and the total amount of gallons used so that we can calculate a combined miles per gallon. We need to keep on doing until the user says, hey, I'm done with it. I have no more information to enter. At that time, we will stop the application. Let me press the OK button, which is the workspace. I have never used this, so that every time I launch, it prompts me to specify my workspace where the code will be saved. And Eclipse may take a little bit of time to commence everything. When you use Eclipse on a daily basis, on regular basis, the code that you have written before will already be there, which may be the case in my Eclipse instance as well. However, don't worry, we'll just kind of delete it or remove it and start afresh. While it is coming up, we should, like I said, you need to think of an algorithm. So write something down in a piece of paper and think of variables you will need. Think of scanner class, what kind of packages we need to import and stuff like that. how do you write the while loop, how do you write the if logic and things like that. Okay, so here is the code I have from my previous work that I did. I'm just going to remove it or perhaps delete it. It's not going to delete from my database because I haven't checked this, and this is just to create a clean interface. We'll go here and say, hey, I would like to create new Java project, and this is for week, this is for week number 9. So we shall say week 9 underscore exercise 4 underscore 17 underscore. Why? Hey, just to keep it clean and simple. We shall press the next button and we shall press the finish button. As I have always done, we shall open it, and under source we shall right click to say, hey, I want to add a new class. And what should be the name of the class? We shall give the name could be it's coming up a little slow here on my computer today, but let me just close it and reopen it. Hopefully this time it will be much faster. Here we go. The name is gas mileage. How about that? Because that's the name, gas mileage, and we have done. Yes, we would like to have public static void main method within our stub. Why is that? Because we would like to run this application. We would like to be able to run our program, and therefore we must have public static void main. Let's press the finish button, and we will have our little stub or the skeleton created. Here is the skeleton. We are going to fill up the code inside this, but to think through everything, we shall import a package. So we shall import. Why are we doing that? Because we need to have ability to use the scanner, which is a Java provided class we are using in order to be able to accept something from the customer. And when we need to use scanner, we shall say, hey scanner, I want to have my scanner as an instance of new scanner class. And how should I be able to accept the input? From the input stream, which is system.in. Whether it is the command prompt or some other way, this is how we should create an instance of scanner. We need to be able to keep track of total miles and total gallons, because we need to know how many total miles and total gallon the customer has entered. So therefore we shall say int total miles is equal to 0 semicolon and miles with the plural, int total gallons is equal to 0. We are creating two variables for future needs. We need to tell the user, hey, please enter something. So we are using system.out.print with an open parenthesis. We shall say enter miles, and within parenthesis we may say -1 to quit the application. So if you want to terminate it, you may please enter -1, and we will never ask you for another input. To get the input, we shall say int miles, a variable that we are using, and we would say my scanner dot get dot next int, to say, hey, I would like to use an integer from you, the customer. So we shall double click on it and accept the input. The input that is entered by the customer is entered inside a variable called miles. Let us run a loop to keep getting the information from user and compute the mpg, miles per gallon. To continue running, we shall say keep running the while loop until the miles variable is not equal to -1. If what is entered by the user is not -1, please run the loop again and again and again. Now we shall say system.out.print enter gallons, and we shall accept the gallons from the customer. We shall declare a variable int gallons, and we shall immediately assign it the value of the next information entered by the customer. We are using the next int because the values we are attempting to store are integers as given in the program requirements. What we shall do is let us keep track of total miles and gallons first and foremost. So we shall say total miles plus equal to miles. Whatever is the value of total miles, please add up to that the value entered by the customer. And here we have both of them saved. Let's do some checking. We will say if within parenthesis we will say if gallons is not equal to 0. In that case, we would like to say calculate the miles per gallon, and we shall say double. Why double? Because we want to display a floating point value. So we shall say double miles per gallon is equal to double. Please convert the information into doubles by doing the value of miles and divide it over with the value of gallons. And we shall say system dot out dot printf mpg for this trip is colon symbol. We shall say percent symbol, a dot symbol, a 2 symbol, and F for floating, and then percent N for new line. What should be replaced by that percent? We shall say miles per gallon. And let me just fix the spelling in the line above so that we shall have no squiggly lines, and we will fix the spelling right here. Put a semicolon in the end. So we are displaying the calculating the miles per gallon and displaying it with 2 places after decimal. Now what we shall do is we shall say if total gallons is not equal to 0, in that case only let us also calculate the total miles per gallon. Okay, so let us fix the spelling mistake which I keep on doing. I'm sorry. If the total gallons is not equal to 0, then we shall do, and one more time we shall say double total miles per gallon is equal to, within the double data type, take total miles which is stored above and divide it with the total gallons so that we can have an outcome of both. And we shall say system dot out dot printf total mpg is colon symbol percent dot to f percent n and the quotation mark and replace it with total miles per gallon and a semicolon in the end. This shall display us the total miles per gallon. When we are running the application, we will run it continuously 3 times to see the information for the current trip and for the total that we have entered. Okay, in the finally, before the while ends, the while is ending here, we shall say system.out.print enter within quotation marks, enter miles to get the second set of mile from the customer, and we are using the same information typed above so that the user will be prompted to fill in another set of information for us as done here, and we shall say miles is equal to my scanner dot next int, and therefore we shall have code written as follows. This is the end of the class, this is end of the main method, and this is end of the while loop as follows. So 3 ending for the 3 closing. Our code is written. We can run it to see how it performs. Here we go. We will run, and we'll use simple numbers to not have to have simple output. So let's say the miles is 10 miles and the gallons is 2, so 10 over 2 is 5, and 5 total miles per gallon is also 5. Next time is 20 and 2, so 20 over 2 is 10, so we have 10. Total miles per gallon is 7.5 mpg, and the total for the 2 trips is 7.5. We are asked to enter one more time. Let's say this time is 30 and 3. It is 10, and total miles per gallon is 8.75. The total miles we have driven is 10 plus 20 plus 30, which is 60, and the total gallons is 2 plus 2 plus 3. When we add up and divide, we will get the 8.75. At this time, we can close the application. The code is written completely. This is the code you need to submit for the exercise 417 for week 9 assignment. You can do so by going to the Canvas page and submitting the assignment. I will post a link here for the assignment aid video. I hope this video was useful to you guys. If there is anything else I can do, please let me know.